Hello everyone, welcome to IQ Coding House. And today's video is for those people who are actually working with React and Next.js, and I believe they are familiar with useMemo. And I think most of us are got confused about when we should use useMemo and when we should not. So today's video is for to today's video actually to clear that confusions and have a better understanding about like when we should use memo, and so that we can take decisions. So please don't skip this video. Just keep watching. Well, so what does use memo actually do? Use memo actually memory for calculations, and without use memo, what is the impact? The impact is React actually recalculates every render. I mean, React recalculates every render, the whole component, and also the value if it doesn't use memo. So React remembers the result until the inputs change. So with use memo, what React do? React actually remembers the result of that value until the value has been changed. So it actually remembers the values, not the components. So that is the thing. So the rule number one is expensive work only. I mean, if you think that you would like to use memo for simple calculations, then actually it doesn't add any value for you. So here is an example. You can say const sum equal a plus b, and this is a bad idea to use memo here because this is a very simple calculation. So don't use memo in those kind of simple calculations. So the good idea is to use memo like those kind of expensive operations. Like here you can see we are using use memo for items that reduce. So there is a total calculation. So here we can use memo, and so when you should use it when you are working with large loops or heavy calculations, or yeah, so slow UI without it. I mean, if it's an heavy calculations and if you don't use memo, then the UI will render very slowly. So the rule number two is like the stable profs equal happy children. I mean, the children component would be happy if its profs is stable. So the problem, so what is the problem with if we don't use memo? Like here you can see on every render there is a new object, and child re-renders. So the if we define const config theme dark, so this is an object, and every time every re-render there is a new object will be created. So this is actually an like the extra operations, because this is always fixed. This is a constant variable. This is a constant object, but on every render it again reinitiate. So this is actually an extra operations that it does. So the solution is you can use memo. So it actually on re-render the component like the children, it actually not it is actually not create any new object. It always remember that object. So the props will be stable and the children will be happy. The rule number three is actually the derived data, and instead of these, I mean, here you can see we wrote a filter like users dot filter. So instead of this, you can just replace it by an use memo. So it will be cleaner, faster, and I think it's very reasonable to use it. So where not to use memo? So do not use it when actually the calculation is cheap, dependency change often. I mean, we define and dependencies like users is the dependencies of the use memo. So when users has been changed, then it will recalculates the value of active users. So if the dependencies changes very often, then please don't use memo, and you add it just in case. So overusing use memo actually slower will slow down your code. So it actually instead of adding value, it actually degrade the performance. Well, so the real truth about performance is use memo is actually is not free. So React still checks dependencies, and memory usage will increases and code becomes harder to read. So always you need to measure the performance first, then you need to use memo in the proper place. Well, so the golden rule, and which is very important, the rule of thumb is fix performance problems, not imaginary ones. I mean, you need to use React DevTools profiler, and you can use browser performance tab, and you can use Lighthouse for measuring the performance, so that you can decide like whether you need to use memo or not. Well, so there is a quick memory trick to remember the use memo. I mean, ESD. So E for expensive calculation, S for stable props, and D for derived data. If none apply, then you can skip use memo. So thanks for watching, and code is smart, not hard. And if you like this video, then please don't forget to subscribe IQ Coding House, and see you on next video. Till then, good luck. Bye bye.